Church, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for some more time right here in God's Word. I want to give a quick shout out today to Brian H. of Cookeville, Tennessee. Brother, thank you so much for supporting our ministry here financially. We can't do it without men like you, so thank you for your faithfulness and your partnership. I love you. Today we're going to be in Nehemiah chapter 2. I'm going to read verses 6 through 8 today. It reads, "And the king said to me," that is to me, Nehemiah, the queen sitting beside him, "How long will you be gone, and when will you return?" So it pleased the king to send me when I had given him a time, and we really don't know what amount of time that is until we get later on in the book. And I said to the king, "If it pleases the king, let letters be given to me for the governors of the province beyond the river." There's that phrase you probably heard a lot on the news lately. "Beyond the river, that they may let me pass through until I come to Judah. And a letter to Asaph, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates of the fortress of the temple, and for the wall of the city, and for the house that I shall occupy." And the king granted me what I asked, for the good hand of my God was upon me. Now, fellas, I want to tell you, this is a great moment. I bet this moment changed Nehemiah's appearance before the king. Remember, initially he was sad in the king's presence, which led to this inquiry. And now every time Nehemiah speaks up, the king grants him everything he wants and more. But note this, Nehemiah is not making a bunch of haphazard requests to the king. Nehemiah has invested months in prayer, but he also demonstrated in this prayer that he has planned and he has researched and he has sized up this project before he ever came to the king. And this is a great moment, fellas, to bring up one of the side benefits of praying about something for a long period of time. First, prayer is going to get your desires in line with God's desires. But second, as it does, prayer is also going to stir your mind continually about the means of accomplishing God's desires, not yours. Think about it this way. Imagine you need a new car. And maybe you do. Maybe that's a prayer request you're going to pray for the next few months. Now, if this is something you need, then a car becomes everything you think about, right? You pray about it, you think about it, you research options, you analyze your income, you calculate the price of a potential loan, you research the car specifics, then the car dealers. Over time, you nail down exactly what you want, how much you want to spend, and where you're going to spend it. And this is what Nehemiah has done for four long months, because he has prayed for 4 months about one thing. It's all he can think about. He has worked out every detail in his mind. He knows exactly how long it's going to take. He knows he's going to need official letters for safe passage. He understands he's going to need supplies. He knows and requests all the fundamental details, even though he is not a carpenter, an engineer, or even a leader of people. He is a cupbearer to the king. But he is this. He is resourceful. He is resourceful enough to figure out what he needs so he doesn't look stupid when the king asks him these obvious questions. Now, I don't know about you, but I want these kind of people on my team. Men who are prayed up and resourceful. Prayed up and resourceful. I mean, godly men, fellas, don't just sit around and cry about their present situation. Godly men also don't sit around at the local coffee shop and complain about their current situation and the things happening in the world. Godly men pray, aligning with God's desires, and then resourcefully find a way out. So, if you have a situation that needs addressing, then start praying about it. Maybe it's your marriage. Maybe it's a wayward child. Maybe it's an ongoing relational conflict. Maybe it's your career or your calling. Well, what are you waiting for? Start praying about it. Get your heart aligned with God's, and then stop crying and playing the victim and complaining about your situation. Start planning and researching and sizing up your project by talking to godly people with the necessary resources. You never know. All this might put you in front of the most unsuspecting person who might present you with all the resources you could ever need. Think about that. Wouldn't you like that? I would. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If this has blessed you, please share it with someone else who needs to hear it, and I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.